What's the good, the bad, the ugly of the internet?
The internet. Well, the good is maximum exposure. One of the good things is all real estate agents are equal now. It used to be, we had printed media, we had newspaper ads, we had these special magazine ads, and a lot of the agents that were successful had an advantage because they could pay for these printed ads. Printed media is pretty much dead now, and so you list a property with an agent that's in a multiple list service, it's probably going to be fed to hundreds of different websites. So that's the good. People are getting maximum exposure now. The bad side is, there are tricks for enhancements. I mean, I think we're definitely of the day and age that you have to hire a professional photographer. If you're utilizing an agent that comes in with his iPhone or is taking pictures themselves, I think we're beyond that right now, and you need a professional photographer and stager. But they use those fisheye lenses that make the 10 by 10 room look like it's a 30 by 30 room, and I do feel as though we need some technology like drones. We're utilizing drones, and there's some 3D imagery that we're using now, and there's like walkthrough virtual tours that we're using right now. It's all getting pretty expensive, but I do feel as though from the privacy of a home, people can really feel as though they're viewing the property and not having to get in a car and look at it. One of the bad things, though, is that we're getting far fewer showings now. When we look at the data of how many people were looking at a particular home, we've seen our numbers drop. And the reason why they're dropping is because they feel as though, they've been exposed to the home and have seen multiple pictures. They feel as though they visited home. The good side of that, though, is when we actually do have a showing, this person probably has some attachment or appreciation for the home. So they've already seen it online, and so that's a good thing. So, when the sellers have to prepare for these viewings, I think that they're not wasting their time. The people that are coming to the house are pretty much interested already. So, a lot more exposure, maybe some fewer showings. The ugly side, though, is that with all this exposure, there are some scams that have come about. There are some fruitcakes that come about. I mean, just last week, we had a guy pull up into a driveway, knocked on the woman's home, said, "We don't need to use the agent. Just you and I work this out right now." And she's like, "No, you're going to use my agent." So he's like, "Well, I love this home. I'm buying it." So we write up an offer. And then 2 days later, he's like, "I hate this home. You guys are trying to scam me." It's just so you're exposed to so many different people that, and they're just, it's volatile, and they're trying to get around some real estate agents, and it doesn't always work out that well. The scary thing, though, is the scams. I had a family of 6 people in here yesterday, and they're all in their late 70s, early 80s, and we just went under contract for a big piece of land, and I had to say to them, "Look, there's going to be some guy in Mozambique that is going to go on Zillow and find out that we're under contract, and he's going to do ericandrews@aol.com, and you're going to think it's me, or he's going to use a local attorney's name at gmail.com, and you're going to think it's that attorney, and they're going to say, 'Hey, something changed for the closing. We need your account numbers. This is where we need your route. This is where you send the money now,' instead of," and it's just, or they're going to say they're your bank and they're working with the attorney on the closing. So they're very, very creative, and they're taking advantage of people that are getting emails but don't completely understand. We've had to be real specific now with our sellers to watch out for these people. Another situation we've had is homes that are for sale. Somebody will steal that listing and then show it as a rental. So we only have it for sale, but they'll show it as a rental, and they're collecting security deposits to hold that property. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm traveling in London right now. Just send the money to London, and I'll have my agent show it to you. And then people call us and say, hey, I gave your landlord a deposit. He told me to call you. Well, so that they have some of the right information, but they don't. So with all this exposure, it's good that we're getting so much coverage. It's bad that we're getting fewer showings. And the ugly is there is some fraud that we need to be aware of.